Hey boos, welcome to my first YouTube video. I'm so excited I finally have a video up on my channel. So for the first tutorial I decided to let's do something fun. Let's go ahead and make a 3D donut tumbler. So the handle will be a donut and then it'll have a really cool chocolate drip on it. So let's get to it guys, but before we do, can you please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and let's get making. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and get my Culture Sculpt from CCDIY. And I'm going to go ahead and get 2 equal parts. So basically what I do is I just get both parts and I kind of roll up in a ball and kind of measure them together. And that is how you mix up the Culture Sculpt. You want them to both be about the same size in balls. Oh my god, I can't believe I said balls. Anyways, so yeah, so then from there, you're going to go ahead and knead it all together. You want it mixed really well, and you want to probably like knead it for about 2 to 3 minutes just to make sure that it's well mixed. Also, guys, you're going to notice that I do start on a ready glittered epoxy cup. I like to do that. It's just a lot easier that way for me. I found that works best for me. So now you're going to see that I'm going ahead and start rolling it up, but I kind of made it uh-oh. So I'm just going to go ahead and just pick it back up, make it to a ball, and then I'm going to go ahead and roll it out. I don't put a lot of pressure. That's what happened the first time. So I'm just going to roll it out. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this knife, and I'm going to cut like a rectangle, and I'm going to go ahead and place it on my cup, on the handle. I'm just kind of putting it together and just kind of squishing it together. Now you're going to see that I'm going ahead and starting to form the handle. I am just kind of pressing it down, making sure that it has like the good structure as a donut. You know, I'm kind of making sure that no stainless steel from the handle is showing. And so then you start seeing that I am rolling it back up so I can go ahead and start working on the icing part. And so I'm just kind of rolling it back out like how I did before. And now I'm going to go ahead and get my fingers and I'm just going to squish the sides. That kind of gives me like a little outline for the icing for the donut. And now I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, like define those little arches I just did. And now I place it on my cup. I'm so sorry I'm out of frame a lot. I'm gonna get better, guys. This is my first YouTube, so just kind of, you know, bear with me. Before I put on the icing, I'm gonna go ahead and smooth out the donut. How you smooth out to get all those little wrinkles and creases out of the Culture Sculpt, you just get some plain water and you just kind of wet your finger and then just smooth it out there. And you see I'm doing it in the inside of the mug just to make sure that the inside of the mug handle is nice and smooth. And so that's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm just going all around the cup of the handle and just making sure it is smooth. As soon as I like where I get it, you know, I kind of like form the edges where the handle meets the cup. I just want to make sure it's like really adhere to it. So then I place my icing on top, and now I'm just kind of pushing that icing into the donut part. And now I'm just like smushing it in so that way there's no cracks. You know, there's no space in between. It's like pretty much, you know, molded together. And then also that water is like a glue. It like acts like a glue with the clay. So it'll, you know, help it stick to it. So now I'm trimming up the excess that was up on the handle. And now I'm going to start smoothing out the icing, you know, because icing really does not have creases, guys. We like it smooth, right? Smooth like a baby's bottom. So that's just basically what I'm doing right now, is just smoothing out that icing. And then once you're done, you just want to wait 3 hours. It takes about 3 hours for it to dry. Now I'm going to get my colors to paint the donut handle as soon as it's dry. And right now I'm just going in. I'm just going with a regular paintbrush. I'm using, I believe it's Mocha. I'm going to list the colors and everything that I use down below in the comments. So yeah, just go ahead and start painting. Again, you want to wait till it's completely dry, which takes about 3 hours. Fast forward, now we're on to the chocolate. You just repeat the same process. Once you got it all painted, you want to wait for it to dry, and then you want to go in with a second coat of paint. You just want that second coat just kind of makes it more opaque, and so you just want full coverage. So now this is the second coat, and as you can kind of tell, it just makes it look darker and just more opaque, like I said before. So I go ahead and do a second coat for both colors. The tan one, I just kind of went and, you know, you don't have to make it look perfect, but I just want to make sure it's all looking good and full coverage. So, yeah. So now I'm going to go ahead and wait for that to dry. As soon as it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and get my labels ready. I'm going to put a foil bottom logo at the bottom, and then I am putting the decal. You can get that decal from Mighty Mamas. And so here I am placing my foil decal. I just like to put my logo, and then it just has the care instructions on the bottom. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just something little, and simple. So now I'm going to go ahead and get my label. I'm going to make sure that it is centered on the cup. I like to make sure I leave enough space for the drip, and I want to make sure it's the correct size. So now I'm going to go ahead and take that backing off, and you're going to see how I place my logos. When you do a logo, you kind of want to like place it down and then roll it out. Like you want to roll that backing out. So you'll see how I do it right about now. Nice and smooth, and that kind of helps you preventing to get like air bubbles trapped on the bottom. And so there you go. I have the labels placed on there. And so now we are ready to move on to the next step, which is basically adding the sprinkles. I like to add the sprinkles with UV resin. So you're going to go ahead and see I put some UV resin in a little medicine cup, and I'm going to go ahead and get my silicone brush, and I'm going to dab my silicone brush into the UV resin and then just paste like little dots onto the handle on where I kind of want it. I literally just do little dots, guys, or like little lines. And then I'm going to go ahead and get a... I basically use like a rhinestone pin, I guess, to pick up the sprinkles. It just makes it a lot easier. This one's a dual tip, so that first one I tried, it's the smaller, so I had to move to the fatter one. So now I was going to pick up the sprinkles and just place them where I placed the UV resin dots or slits, whatever you created. And so I'm just gonna be doing that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the UV light for about 90 seconds, just for it to adhere. I don't do anything longer than 90 seconds. And so you see me right now putting it under UV light, and then you're gonna go ahead and repeat that process through so that way your handle is covered completely with sprinkles. So, and that's what it will look like. It's so cute, so fun, and I think it adds character. So there you go. You see it all over the cup. Now from there, I'm going to go ahead and epoxy the whole thing. So once it's epoxied, now I'm going to get ready for the drip, guys, the drip. Oh my God, guys, forgive me for these voiceovers. I go ahead and mix 2 parts of my epoxy, and I went ahead and add brown mica, and I'm gonna add, I think I already added like a dot of brown acrylic paint, and it's the same brown that I used to paint the donut, so that way it has the same colors. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of Nice and Thick from, again, CCDIY, and I'm just gonna go ahead and mix it in there. So you basically just want to mix and mix and mix. You want to make sure it's really good and mixed, I guess. I can't say mix a lot, guys. So you see me just stirring it, and I just keep stirring it until I have the consistency that I want. You can always add more Nice and Thick. I used regular epoxy for this, so it does take a little take a little while. Guys, why can't I talk? I swear, English is my first language. And so I just keep mixing it and keep adding as I go. It does, if you don't add Nice and Thick, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to get the consistency that you like. If you add Nice and Thick, it does break down your time. It just depends on how much Nice and Thick you want to use. So I think right now it is ready to go. You're going to see me test it around the rim of the cup. And that's how you'll see where you like the speed of your drip to go. I'm going to test it again, and then right when I test it, I believe it's going to be around this time where it is good to go. Again, this is speed up, so it does take a while, but again, you can always add more Nice and Thick. I haven't really learned my ratio yet with nice and thick. As soon as I do, I'll let y'all know. So I think this is a consistency that I like, and I'm gonna go ahead and add it now to the tumbler. So I always start from the back by the handle, and then I work my way around. I get a Q-tip, I mean not Q-tip, I get a popsicle stick, and I just go ahead and go around that rim. I just pretty much just lay it right at the very top. I try not to get it inside the cup, but if it happened, just go ahead and get a wipe, you guys, and it just wipes off really fast while it's still wet. And so yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and just go all the way around the tumbler, and I just let it drip on its own. I don't make drips. Like I said, I let it drip on its own. I like it when it drips on its own. It's more of a natural. But again, you can always do what you want to do. I took it upside down just because it was going too far down and I didn't want to go that far down. Oh my god. I hope we're all learning. I swear. Now that I'm hearing myself, I'm like, what am I saying? So from here, I want to go ahead and add sprinkles into the drip. I think it just matches. It gives it a whole vibe to match that handle. So you're going to see again, I'm grabbing that rhinestone brush. Well, not brush, a pen. And I'm just going ahead and adding those sprinkles into the into the drip. Not the dip, the drip. Oh my god. And I'm just pushing those sprinkles in. And I'm just putting where I want. I try not to add a lot, so I do like to add them individually. And I push them all the way in so that that epoxy will totally adhere to it. And there you go, guys. That is it. And then I will put that on the turner and let that spin till it dries.